just a few weeks left for CAT 2022, now is the time to go ahead and solidify your personal exam taking strategy. With that in mind, BYJU'S Exam Prep brings to you the All India Open Mock CAT. Know exactly where you stand against thousands of CATers and get video solutions and a live mock attempt. What more? There are also thousands of scholarships up for grabs.
Hi everyone, very good morning. Welcome to BYJU'S Exam Prep, and my name is Alpa Sharma. This is our weekly editorial analysis. I hope you can hear and see me very clearly, everybody. So good to see you after one long week, and here I have another very interesting piece of article that we are going to be reading together. We're going to be understanding it, and this is an article that's very close to my heart. After 1 week when I see you, I actually want to bring an article that helps you with, of course, your verbal ability section. And then this article, I also aim at making you motivated, ready for the examination that's right at the corner of the year, and keep you pepped up. So this article is actually a combination of all the things that I've mentioned, making you ready for the verbal ability section, making you be ready with inference based questions, main idea questions, your vocabulary it would make better. It would also pep you up. So very interesting piece of article. Plus, by the end of the class today, I am going to be sharing a website and its link with you. Okay, later on the link would be shared in the description box. The link is going to be about a website that's pretty similar to Aeon, not as great though, because I love Aeon, but a website where you could read a lot of things if you are bored of the similar kind of articles that have appeared in Aeon. So I'll be sharing a new website with you. It's not a new one, but since I'm going to be sharing it for the first time, that's why I've used the word new, where you could read different kinds of articles. This article that I've brought today has been picked up from the very same website. Good morning, everyone. Good morning. Harika, Prads, Sankirtana, Amrit, Bhuvnesh. Very good morning. Now, quickly, let's begin with our session. Let's see what are we going to be doing today. But before that, if you still haven't given CAT 22's All India Open Mock, make sure you do that, because 9th of October, the window closes. And since you have a chance to, ascertain your performance amidst thousands of other kids who have already given the mock, this is your chance right now. Make sure you don't miss out on this opportunity. Sit for the mock, see where do you stand. This mock is very close to the actual examination. Don't miss out on that. Plus, we have our test series that we have launched, which will be for CAT and other MBA entrance examinations. You have tons of tests today. You could enroll yourself for this program. The details are there in the description box under my video. You can know more about that under the video. So what are we going to be doing in the class today? I am going to be taking one article, okay, and the article is from the website which I'm going to be sharing by the end of the class today. Lots of articles to read from that. And just a minute, guys. I'm going to, So we're going to be doing vocabulary. There are many difficult words in the article today. We'll learn the contextual usage of vocabulary. We'll try to understand the tone of the author. We'll try to understand the main theme of the passage, and we'll try to draw many inferences with the lines that we've highlighted. We'll understand कौन सी line पढ़नी है, कौन सी line छोड़नी है, जो line पढ़नी है उसको कैसे पढ़नी है, so that you are able to draw inferences correctly. Even before the inference question pops up in front of you, you know that I have read between the lines. I hope all of you know what reading between the lines means. पता है ये सबको? कैसे you have to read between the lines? कैसे आपको एक article को comprehend करना है, so that before a question or inference appears, you know if this is written, what else could the author mean? Do you guys know how to read between the lines? Just send me a thumbs up very quickly if you guys know about that. Quickly a thumbs up, ताकि मुझे पता लग जाए कि ठीक है, आप लोगों को पता है कि reading between the lines क्या होता है. ठीक है, पता है, cool. So let's quickly move on to the article. Our article show करने से पहले I have a little question for you. Okay, I'm going to sit, relax, and I'm going to ask you a question. Yes, understanding the unwritten words. In simple words, reading between the lines is, if author has said this, what else could he mean by that? That is reading between the lines. और क्या मीनिंग निकल सकता है उसका? ये होता है reading between the lines. ठीक है, चलो अब एक क्वेश्चन पूछती हूँ मैं आप लोगों से. I want an honest answer to it. And please, whatever we do today, do not link the article to religion. क्योंकि जब हम religion ले आते हैं पढ़ाई के बीच में तो वो पढ़ाई नहीं होती. Okay, so we're going to be talking about this article, keeping aside religion, your mind, whatever it is. Okay, hi Disha, good morning. My question is, when you go for an examination, school, outside that, when you sit for an interview, when you have a tough test to take, when you have to perform on the stage, and when you're anxious in certain such similar conditions, जब आपको anxiety होती है, is there a ritual that you perform? Is my question. Is there a thing that you do while you are in a difficult situation which tests you? Like performing on a stage, giving an examination, sitting for an interview. Do you perform a ritual? Don't tell me what the ritual is. Do you perform a ritual? Then I'll tell you my answer. You do, Diya does. Others, do you guys perform a ritual? A lot of kids do. I've been teaching for the last more than a decade now, almost 1.5. Harika doesn't. Hi, good morning. Fitness freak. You do, Bhuvanesh? Okay, my answer, I always do. Always. Abhi bhi, when I have a very important class, जहाँ मैंने बहुत effort लगाया है, I've prepared for the class, I have put in a lot of effort, और वो class मेरे लिए बहुत important है, आपके लिए बहुत important है, I want you to learn from that class, I still perform a ritual. I'll tell you what the ritual is. Not agarbatti and aarti, no, that's a separate thing altogether, because we're not mixing religion today. There's a ritual that we do. And if you are somebody who loves sports, I am sure you would have seen a lot of sportsmen performing rituals before they start their matches or before they start with their performance. What is this ritual? How does it help us? Is it beneficial or not? This is the article today. Let's go to the first page. Let's read. And then we could probably take some hints कि क्या हमको जो perform नहीं करते ritual, हमको भी ritual perform करना चाहिए. Read the first page and send me a done. Disha, I think you're pretty close to what the article talks about. Yes, Prats, that's exactly what I was talking about. Now, if you've read the page, first question. At what point did you realize you should have skimmed through the page? I'm going to move my torso a little. Give me a minute. Otherwise, it would hide the... just a second. Yeah, this looks fine to me. I hope now it isn't hiding the text. At one point in the page, did you realize कि आपको skim करना चाहिए था? You should not have read the entire page. I mean, of course, you would like to see what Nadal does, what are the things that he's peculiar about, but reading the whole page is a waste of time, specifically if you're reading it as an RC. At what point did you realize you should have skimmed through the page? Exactly. By the time you were there with this line. You should have known this whole page is to be skimmed. Last tak padh ke, so if you left the page here, okay, you could basically read the last line and be doubly sure कि ये पूरा पेज वही रिचुअल की बात कर रहा है that Nadal performs. So till this line, I know that there's a specific ritual that he performs. I'm going to not read all of this. I'm going to read the last line. He carefully folds one towel. Okay, it's a continuation of the ritual he performs. That means I haven't done any mistake by leaving this part. That is how you can be doubly sure. Always, always, always. I've been a person who's been taking CAT for so many years. I've been a person who's been teaching for CAT for so many years. By my words, you cannot afford to read each and every line. आपको बहुत सारा time save करना है difficult questions के लिए. If you did not skim it, please know this is how things are to be skimmed. So, इस page का gist in a nutshell. Nadal is one of the best tennis players that we know of. And he is somebody who goes through an elaborate ritual. अब देखो, repertoire एक word आपके पास है यहाँ. I'm sure ये बहुत सारे लोगों के लिए नया होगा. क्या आप contextually link कर सकते हो? What could the meaning of repertoire be? Yes, Gagandeep, I'm going to do that. ठीक है? So, contextually जब आप ये line पढ़ रहे हो, repertoire का मतलब आप इसको break करके word को या sentence में इसका meaning, can you derive the meaning of the word? Difficult word हो सकता है if I give you the word individually, but certainly not difficult in the context of the passage. Repertoire, what could that mean? Long series of rituals. Yes, repeated ones. Exactly. Okay. Habit. Exactly. Dekho, can I say repertoire is a word that's related to the word repeat? Yes, it does. Yes, these are repetitive habits. Also, contextually, आप ये समझ सकते हो that repertoire is a word जो कि contextually भी repetition of rituals की बात करता है. And the entire explanation is given in the furthermore lines. Repetition of actions that he would do before every match, in between every match, by the end of every match, specifically before that. In a nutshell, if there are words that you do not know the meaning of, please don't let them be your speed breakers. आप बहुत easily उनका meaning infer कर सकते हो. नहीं समझ में आता, छोड़ो, आगे बढ़ो. Contextual vocabulary CAT में बहुत कम आती है. There are other examinations where you get contextual vocabulary. For example, NMAT gives you a lot. Though CAT doesn't give you contextual vocabulary, you can give it a pause. And rather a miss and then just go on with the theme of the passage. Right now, till this page, we know Nadal performs some repeated actions before every match. That's the gist of the whole page. Let's go to the next page and let's see what does that mean. Page number 2, read this and send me a done. Which paragraph is an important one here? Point that out for me. मैम इस बार फैक्चुअल आरसी आने के चांसेस हैं क्योंकि 2016 में आईएमबी के पेपर्स में है. यस. अच्छा, सिंस आयुष आपने ये क्वेश्चन पुट अप किया है, लेट मी टॉक टू यू अ लिटिल अबाउट दैट. फैक्चुअल आरसीज आते हैं. skimming for you becomes even more important. If, for example, understand that the first page that we read, we skimmed. What kind of questions can stem out of the first page? Only and only and only factual questions. Which of the following is true? Which of the following is false? Or data-based questions. How many towels did he pick? Or does he pick? Okay, ऐसा question आ सकता है. If you don't remember how many towels, or if you missed reading that because you were skimming, spare out a few seconds. Go back to the first page. आपको पता है first page में होगा क्योंकि वही page है जहां इतना data लिखा हुआ है. Cross check the line again. कितने towels pick किए नडाल ने? एक किया, दो किया. Go back to the question. 10 seconds of confirming the answer and voila, you have your score in your pocket. If there are factual questions, always skim through the passage, rather scan through the passage. आपको वो passage पढ़ने की need बिल्कुल नहीं है. Similarly, out of 5 questions, if 4 are factual, I would rather take a risk of leaving that one inferential question and not read the whole passage altogether. Only look for the word tal where that is written. Read the line and mark the answer. So remember, agar factual questions aate hain, okay? Remember, Ayush, we shouldn't read the passage. On that note, मुझे कैसे पता लगेगा factual questions है कि नहीं? One of the wisest things to do while you're taking an actual mock, although ये बहुत लोगों के लिए काम नहीं करता, but बहुत लोगों के लिए करता है. Remember my words. A few seconds to see the kind of paper we have in front of us, the kind of questions a passage has. Not reading each question, but looking at the type of questions. Factual है, inferential है, structure based है, main idea based है, tone based है. Identify the kind of questions and accordingly decide how detailed reading do you have to do. Does it make sense, everyone? Are you going to be sticking to it? Yes. Okay. So, back to the main question, which paragraph is important? It is the third one. It is the last one because that is where there are questions and that is where probably there's a claim made by the author. Exactly. Tone of the author, does ritual really help to warm up tough situations? Okay, agreed. Is it just an illusion making our mind confident? Exactly. अब देखो, getting back to another important aspect जो हम जब passage पढ़ते हैं, we need to pay attention to that. If there are questions, I've discussed this before, I'll repeat this again for people who are new to my class. If there are questions in the passage, पहले समझो questions क्यों होते हैं passage में. Author will write questions because he wants to discuss that topic with you. He wants you to pay attention to these questions. Think about that. And then later on, the author will answer them. Very, very likely, next paragraph is going to be discussing these questions. Next page is going to be discussing these questions. A question is put up if in the beginning, the whole passage probably talks about that. If it's in between, probably, very likely, the questions are going to be answered. Questions क्या है यहाँ? We have to be very careful about them. Questions क्या है? Repetitive actions, for example, Nadal does. You and I do. क्या purpose हुआ? सिर्फ distraction, क्योंकि मैं stressed हूँ, मैं एक ritual कर लूंगी. My mom used to say, you know, recite this specific mantra if you're stressed about something. I kept doing that because that's what I was taught while I was younger. And I kept doing that. And probably, कुछ time के बाद, it became my solace. It was a method that would make me calm because I genuinely had belief in the mantra she taught me. Probably Nadal does the same. He says, हर बार तो मैं मैच नहीं जीतता ना. I sometimes lose, sometimes win. So it's not a superstition. It's a way of getting order into my head. Okay, that things are in my control. If things look like it's in your control, you're going to probably sail through it seamlessly. So is it only a stress management strategy? Is it only a waste of time superstition that doesn't help you? Or is it only a distraction from the real problem? For example, it's a mathematics examination and you haven't prepared at all and you go and recite Hanuman Chalisa thinking Hanumanji is going to save you. It's only a distraction from the real problem. Does it really help us? Does it not? Very likely in the next page, the author is going to answer that. Okay? So let's go to the next page and let's see if the author has answered these questions. Has he discussed these questions in detail in the next page? Next page. Here it is. Read this and send me done. Very good. Now, by the time you read this line, lab hai, colleagues hai, midterm exams hai, students hai. Oh, dude, this is going to be another example to explain the same point that was made here. Should I read this example? I know by this time, till this part, it's another example. If I have understood the claim made by the author here that rituals help people cope up with anxiety, ये लाइन समझ में आ गई, ये पूरा पार्ट आप छोड़ सकते हो, ये पूरा पार्ट आप छोड़ सकते हो. You can only read this line and you should be done with the page. If there are claims that you understand and then there are studies to back it up, you don't have to read the studies. On the contrary, let me explain something else to you. If you get articles on philosophy, usually a lot of students struggle with understanding philosophical claims made by the author. Exactly this is the kind of writing you would find in philosophical articles, where there are going to be claims made by the author, philosophical claims, and then he would explain the claims using examples. If you don't understand the philosophical claims, make sure you go through the examples, because philosophical articles can lead to a lot of inferential questions. Okay, so with philosophical articles, I'll highly recommend that you read the examples, understand what the passage is talking about, what the claim is. But with such a factual passage, जिसका अभी तक main idea आपको clear लग रहा है कि redundancy, repetition of actions, it helps people to cope up with anxiety. These are merely claims. I'm not going to be paying attention to this. If there are factual questions, I'll come back. कि midterm exams में क्या हुआ था या फिर war time में क्या हुआ था. I'll just look at it and pass the page. That's how you're supposed to read this. I will not be discussing this page. Okay. I'm today focusing merely on teaching you strategies. Let's go to the next page and see what it talks about. तो अभी तक जिस्ट क्या हुआ? Rituals शायद एंजाइटी को लोअर करने में हेल्प करते हैं. एटलीस्ट मेरे साथ ऐसा होता है. I get more confidence by rituals. Next page. Read this and send me done. Thank you, Danish, for doing my work, my child. Thank you. Exactly, Sankirtana. It's pretty close to that. I have a very important question here. If you're done. Same, full of examples, but I have a big question here. Please read this paragraph and tell me, why did the people who had recited the rosary were helped and not the ones who had watched a religious film? I'll repeat my question. Why were these people who had recited a rosary were helped with a reduction in anxiety and not the ones who had watched a religious film? Answer this. In Hindi, रोजरी पढ़ी कुछ लोगों ने और कुछ लोगों ने अगर आपको पता है रोजरी क्या है, रोजरी होती है क्रिश्चियंस, आपने देखेंगे बीडेड माला जैसी पहनते हैं, राइट? वो बीडेड माला को हम रोजरी बोलते हैं। तो वो लोग जिन्होंने रोजरी पढ़ी, वो रिसाइट करी, उन लोगों को हेल्प हुआ, बट रिलीजियस मूवी देखने वाले लोगों को हेल्प नहीं हुआ। ऐसा क्यों हुआ? ओके अमृत, ठीक है। बट एक बात बताओ अमृत, जब मैं किसी स्ट्रेसफुल सिचुएशन में होती हूँ, आई रिसाइट अ मंत्र and that calms me down. Is it not something intangible? That's not something physical. I still feel less anxious when I'm into that situation. I'm giving you a big hint here, Amrit. Okay? You have a big word that you're missing out here. A claim that the author has been making again and again since the beginning of the page, beginning of the article. Okay? All of you, Amrit, Prads, Disha, you guys are pretty close. I'll give you a word and you'll know the answer. Repetition. Rosary. Hindus में भी जब आप माला, when you repeat a mantra, it's nothing related to religion or belief. It's repetition. Religion and belief is intact in a movie as well. But when you repeat it again and again and again, your confidence goes up, your belief goes up. So the difference is repetition. Yes, it's repetition. In movie, it's a religious movie, a religion that you associate yourself with. It should make you more confident, but since there's no repetition, the difference here was only repetition. Repeating the chants through a rosary or a mala that you follow in Hinduism, or a chant or a hymn that you sing in your own head, or for example, just wearing the same old t-shirt again and again and again to an examination you go to. It's repetition. So the key here is, since the beginning, Nadal used to do it before every match. Even if he would win or lose, he would still keep doing it over and over again. That was repetition. It would give him order in his head. It would give him clarity in his head. Probably that's what we are looking for in a situation when we are anxious. Okay, so repetition is the key here in this page. Let's go to the next page and see what additionally the author claims. Next page. Read this and send me a done. It brings order. Should you read this page? Or you should skim? It should be skimmed. Absolutely. Again, because Since by now you've understood the claims made by the author, there was an experiment in the lab and then there was another experiment in Mauritius. Heartbeat, what happens, heart rate, what happens with it when it's variable. Completely factual. Leave this. If there are questions about heartbeat, heart rate, its variability, come back to it, confirm your answer, and 4 marks are yours. If you are still confused, you can come back. But you don't have to read this part. You should skip this part. Okay, absolutely skimmed. Let's go to the next page quickly then. Let's see what additionally is the author claiming. Here you are. Another study. But read this page. I have another question for you. Please read this. Now my question is, if you've read this, question is, when we go to religious places, even if we aren't pretty religious, our moms would take us there. Chalo wo temple leke jao, wo church leke jao, wo dargah leke jao. Our moms would do, okay? We would drive them to the religious place. Even if we are atheists or agnostics or हमको कोई interest नहीं है religion में because we are too young to fall in love with religion probably. Still, when we go to religious places, we feel a calm. That's for sure. I don't care which religion the place promotes, but there is a calm in the place. Aura is something else that we would not talk about. But there are rituals that are being performed in those religious places. The author here claims that the calm comes from the rituals you perform. I'm sure you must have seen your mother, your father, or somebody in your family, your granny, performing the same kind of ritual every morning, praying to God repetitively again. Every single morning, she would do the same ritual. Looking her do all that probably might be annoying to some, but it would make the house a calm place for sure. So it's the vibe. Where does the vibe come from? The repetitive actions. That's what science claims. That's what these experiments claim. You go to a religious place, you perform a specific way of doing things, you repeat it again and again, and you do it in a very rigid manner. Let me talk about rigidity here. Okay, so I'll quote an example from Hinduism since I've performed these rituals in elaborate manners. Specifically, when I got married, there are things that you are supposed to do, and there are things that you're supposed to do in a specific order only, in a specific manner only. Can I say this is linked to what Nadal does? It's his own religion. Tennis is his religion. He performs things in a specific order. He'll pick up 2 bottles. He'll not use any one of the towels. He'll place the bottles exactly in the same manner. That's rigidity. Can I say that? So not merely repetition, but rigidity also combined together brings that notion in our heart that things are under our control. That's what the author claims. It has to be rigid and it has to be repetitive. Lighting the diya before the agarbatti or after it, उसी वे में होगा सब कुछ. मामा भी ऐसे ही करती थी, ऐसे ही सिखाया है. Okay, let's go to the next page and see if that claim is right here. पढ़ो ये page, send me a done. Okay, Nitesh, I will. I will. Nitesh, मैं आदत से मजबूर हूँ बच्चे मैं my Hindi is very good and I can explain something completely in Hindi. But you know, bolte bolte I just keep forgetting. I'm into the groove of explaining it in English. I will use Hindi. First paragraph, supremely important. Second paragraph is an explanation of the first paragraph. अगर आपको first paragraph समझ में आ गया आप second वाला skim कर सकते हो. I'll give you a brilliant example of the second paragraph. It came to my mind while we were reading the page. Okay, let's understand the first paragraph. Author ने 3 claims करे हैं. You know, when we have read all these examples जो Mauritius में हुआ, जो fishing village में हुआ, and so many Nadal का example, there are many examples in the passage. He has concluded 3 things from the examples. That it's repetition, doing things again and again. It's rigidity, doing it in the same manner. एक ही तरीके से पूजा करनी है तो एक ही तरीके से करनी है. एग्जाम में जाओगे तो पहले राइट फुट अंदर रखोगे, लेफ्ट फुट अंदर रखोगे. You see dancers, they pray, they worship the stage before they start dancing. It's ritual, it's rigidity. They would worship in the same manner, and then it's redundancy. That is doing the same thing for a longer period of time. बार बार बहुत लंबे टाइम तक सेम ही चीज करना. इन 3 चीजों का कॉम्बिनेशन will give you an illusion of the fact that things are in your control in a situation where you think it's beyond your control. For example, when you're asked to do something new, going for an interview, you're anxious. You perform a ritual repetitively, rigidly, and redundantly. Your mind thinks, okay, things are in your control. You'll be more confident. Let's understand this example. Our brain functions effectively in a situation that's familiar to us. The best example that I could think of here was, I'm sure you must have not must, I'm sure you know people in your family who snore. If you sleep with somebody who snores, I used to sleep with my nanny who used to snore. And you know, it never bothered me. I was okay with people snoring around me because my nanny snored so loud. I was worried when the snoring stopped. I used to be scared and get up and I would check on her. Nani, is everything okay? Why have you stopped snoring? What is it? It's habit. कि okay, वो bothersome नहीं होता because आपको वो familiar है environment. You know, okay, this snoring is normal. You're not bothered. Bothered आप तब होते हो जब ये familiarity break होती है. So if Nadal does not do these rituals, he thinks the situation is not familiar to him, and then he would be anxious. He probably will not be able to concentrate in a manner that he does usually. This is exactly what the last paragraph explains. You know, shaking of the bed. Some people find it normal, some people don't. जब वो break होता है monotony, वो habit, that's when people get anxious. Familiarity gives you confidence. Unfamiliar situations make you anxious. So when you repeat actions redundantly, repetitively, and rigidly, it gives you a sense of familiarity even in situations that are not familiar with you. Looks like the author is actually a promoter of these rituals. He says, "Kar lo ritual." Be in a habit of performing rituals so that the next time you are in a situation that's troublesome for you, you're not anxious. Let's read the next page, everyone. I think that's going to be the last page. Let me be doubly sure. Yeah, that's the last page. Read this page and let's see if the author draws a similar conclusion here. absolutely a promoter of rituals. He says your mind is a computer, right? और कंप्यूटर है तो उसको प्रायर नॉलेज चाहिए. इवन एआई नीड्स प्रायर नॉलेज, राइट? इट कांट फंक्शन विदाउट प्रायर नॉलेज. आपको डेटा फीड करना पड़ेगा, उस अकॉर्डिंग वो परफॉर्म करेगा. अ माइंड इज अ कंप्यूटर, इट नीड्स प्रायर डेटा. सो जब सिचुएशन, नहीं बच्चे नितेश पीडीएफ तो नहीं होगा, बट मैं आपको वेबसाइट बता दूंगी जहां से मैंने आर्टिकल लिया है. अभी बताऊंगी आर्टिकल डिस्कस करने के बाद. ओके, उस वेबसाइट पे आपको ये आर्टिकल मिल जाएगा और वो उस वेबसाइट से आई वांट यू टू रीड at least 2-3 more articles before I meet you again next Thursday. Okay? So, in a nutshell, the author claims that क्योंकि आपका ब्रेन एक कंप्यूटर है, उसको प्रायर नॉलेज चाहिए. अब ये जरूरी तो नहीं है हर सिचुएशन प्रायर नॉलेज लेके आए आपके सामने. पहली बार लाइफ का इंटरव्यू दे रहे हो, यू विल बी सुपर एंग्शियस. आई एम a girl, I am a woman. Okay, I'd like to call myself a girl. I'm a woman who's been very confident all her life. Stage fear, I've never had any. Public speaking, I've never had fear with that. Still, जब first time ये चीजें होती थी, I would be anxious. But if there are repetitions that I do, redundancy that I would do, mind को लगेगा, अच्छा ये तो पता है मुझे, ये तो हर बार होता है, repetition तो हर बार होता है. This is the same mantra she would recite every time. brain को क्या लगता है, सब situation control में, कुछ नया नहीं हो रहा. Brain becomes confident. So, if you want to capitalize your potential, the author promotes you to indulge into any repetitive action. Religion, non-religion, author does not care. What Tadal does is absolutely non-religious. What other people, other examples are religious ones. The author is not concerned about religion. The author is concerned only about repetition, redundancy, and doing it over a lot of days, time, years. The author is certainly a promoter of repetition here. Okay, so easy, इसका main idea is very very easy. अब सबसे पहला आपका होमवर्क ये है. Main idea certainly is repetition brings certainty to mind, calms us down, reduces our anxiety, helpful in stressful situations. Summary is not difficult. आपका होमवर्क है tone of the author. अभी chat में reply नहीं करना. Under my video in the comment section, you have to tell me what exactly is the tone of this passage that you've read today. After the class ends, you will be able to comment under my video. ये आपका homework है. Now, in the chat box, I am replying to all of you with the name of the website where I took this article from. Okay? And I want you to read more articles from this website throughout the course of the just a minute, of the next week. ठीक है? So next week is, give me a second, let me post the link of the article for you. I'll also share it in the background. एक second देना बच्चे. Okay. So here it is. See, I've just posted in the chat box. I'm also sharing the same, no, I'm not sharing the same website in the background. I have posted the link. ठीक है अमृत, let's do it right now. Okay, let's talk about tone of the author. I'm posting the link again, everyone. I'll also be adding the link into my description box for later. Just copy the link, read more articles from this website before I see you in the next class, bringing another website to you with interesting articles. ठीक है, tone of the author की थोड़ी सी बात करते हैं before I wind up the class. Just a minute. अमृत, tone आंसर करने के लिए आपको ना कुछ 4 चीजें माइंड में रखना जरूरी है. Let's understand those 4 things. Nitish, I did not get you. What are you trying to say? Could you please will complete the Guardian newspaper? I did not get you. By the time you explain what it is, let me explain exactly the tone and how you're supposed to identify that. Tone is dependent, of course, on the opinion of the author. If you're supposed to identify the tone, always look for author's personal opinion and answering why and how he has written the passage. On the basis of opinions, आप 3 broad categories में अपने tones को divide कर सकते हो. What are the 3 broad categories? These are positive tones, negative tones, and neutral tones. Positive tones are the tones that you want to convey. Negative tones are the tones that you want to suppress. Neutral tones are the tones that you want to encourage. Okay, so let's talk about tone of the author. I am posting the link again, everyone. I'll also be adding the link into my description box for later. Just copy the link, read more articles from this website before I see you in the next class, bringing another website to you with interesting articles. ठीक है, Okay, negative tones and neutral tones. Now let's understand what these are and how are you going to make the bifurcations here. Swachita, I'm going to post the link again. See in the chat box, just immediately under your comment, I have posted the link. Do you see my chat? Do you see my reply? Just under your chat. The next comment after yours is mine. Back to this question. Positive, negative, neutral are all the tones can fall into these three categories. It depends on author's opinions. If in the passage the author does not give any opinion, the tone is neutral. For example, the tone can be analytical, the tone can be narrative, expository. These are neutral tones. When the author does not express any personal opinion, he's only either analyzing something or narrating a story or exposing something, explaining something without any opinion. Opinion है भी तो बहुत strong नहीं है कुछ promote करने के लिए या distract करने के लिए. Okay. If there are opinions, the tone can be either positive or negative. Positive tone can be laudatory. Okay. It can be appreciative. These are examples of positive tones. Negative tones can be derogatory. Okay. Condescending. So, these are merely examples. For being a master of tones, link is not available. 5 more minutes, Nitesh. You cannot see my reply. Okay, I'm going to write it down here. Here, the website is this, nautil.us. This is the website where I took the article from. Okay, if you cannot see the link in the chat, this is the website. I'll attach the link under my video in the description box for later reference as well. Okay, now when you see these tones, remember a few things, Amrit. One, when you're reading an article, since you're already focusing on the gist of the article, the theme of the article, understanding the tone will be a cakewalk for you. आपको सिर्फ इतना ध्यान देना है कि ऑथर ने अपना कोई पर्सनल ओपिनियन प्रमोट किया है क्या कहीं, और पैसेज क्यों लिखा है. Why has the passage been written? To praise something, to criticize something, to analyze something, to explain something, to narrate a story, to appreciate something. Why has the passage been written? Make a detailed chart in your notebook today. These three categories. Collect all the tones that you know of and that you've read till date. Bifurcate them in this manner. And only two things need to be paid attention to while you're reading an extract to answer the tone of the author question. One, what is the author's opinion, and answering why has the passage been written. To explain something, to appreciate something, to criticize something, why has it been written? If you answer this question why, answering both these questions is going to be supremely easy for you. Okay? No, Nitesh, I only see you once a week. So that is all about tone of the author today. Amrit, I hope it makes sense. The only tricky part about tone is knowing the meaning. कि भाई laudatory क्या है? I don't know that. If you don't know, you have to be good with your vocab. So do a bit of homework. Next 1 week, focus on finding more and more tones, synonyms, antonyms to it. Categorize them. Make a notebook. List लिख लो. Keep repeating that. It doesn't need a lot of hard work. Tone is a very simple question. Easily score. You can easily score well there. +4 is easily doable there. Please don't leave on this question. On that note, we have our CAT 2023's comprehensive program that we have launched. If you're targeting CAT 23, start early. This is the time. The earlier, the better it is. The details about the program is there under my video in the description box. You could know more about that there. How to connect with us, that also is there under my video. And We have our test series that we recently launched for CAT and other MBA entrance examinations. ये भी आप enroll कर सकते हो, and the details again are there under my video in the description box. Plus, do not forget to sit for the All India Open CAT mock. Thousands of kids have already taken that. You should also take it. It's a free mock. Register karo, mock lo, dekho, where do you stand? And last but not the least, have you liked the session already? If you haven't done that, please hit the like button, comment under my video if you think it benefited you with the homework as well. And subscribe to the channel if you haven't done that yet. No, that's not possible, Nitesh. Current passage would be analytical or persuasive. I don't know, Amrit. Think about it. Comment under my video. I'll reply to you. Okay. So follow us on YouTube, Instagram, Facebook, Telegram, and download our app on Google Play. Don't forget to like the session, everyone. Hit the like button and comment under my video. Thank you so much, everyone. Work really hard. I will see you again next Thursday. God bless all of you. Have a very good day.